Hello, Haunted Family. Welcome back. Story 1. The North Woods. I'm old, and I tried to make this short. Unfortunately, my stories seem to grow like my beard as I get older, quick and out of control. I've had a few things happen to me, but I'll share one that started with my dad, and is still going on today. My dad grew up in rural Wisconsin. We're talking farms and forests, for a few hours before you hit any city. It was in the 40s. When he was a boy, him and his brother would play in the countryside to their heart's content. One place happened to be a nearby property that their family rented for the fields. The home on the property lay abandoned. And this home was special. It was built before the Great Depression. It was a rare Southern-style architecture in a Norwegian-dominated area. A big open porch, 2 stories, with a huge open stairwell, and a massive southern-facing bay window looking into a sitting room, which was to the left of the entryway. At the very bottom of the stairs, there was a piano that had been broken in half by some previous person. One half at the bottom of the stairs, and the other in one of the 3 upstairs bedrooms. My dad and my uncle, a few years apart, one just over the age of 8 and the other 10, were playing in the bedrooms. My grandfather is in a nearby field prepping for harvest. My father was at the beginning of the hall, right at the top of the stairs, while my uncle was in the last bedroom at the end of the hall. All of a sudden, the hair stood up on their arms. A violent laughter was heard throughout the house, and someone played a full scale on the piano. My dad and uncle ran down the stairs as quickly as they could. My grandfather, hearing the laughter from the field, ran into the house and literally ripped them from the doorway as they were trying to get out. Later that night, my grandparents, dad and uncle, went back to the house. My grandfather lit 2 Molotov cocktails, throwing one into the open doorway and smashing the other on the porch. The flames spread for a second before there was laughter, that same laughter, and the flames went out again. My family stopped renting that land. 40 years later, my dad tells me the story, and my grandparents verify it. 5 or so years later, my girlfriend and I get a flat tire while on our way back from visiting some family in the North Woods. Exceptionally late at night, I hop out to change the tire. My girlfriend gets out too. I carried a safety kit in my car, including thermal blankets and a flashlight. We lived in Wisconsin after all. As she's shining the flashlight around, she says, "Oh, I see a house over there. Should we see if we can get some help?" I look up, following the trail from the flashlight, to find my eyes resting upon a rare Southern-style 2-story house with an open porch and a big bay window. It looks abandoned and wholly untouched. The window is immaculate. I immediately tell her to get in the car and start rushing to get the tire changed as quickly as possible. She can see the distressed look on my face. Doesn't ask why. Just gets in the car. Before she does, a few lone piano chords come out of the house, drifting across the field. I swear I drove a mile away with 3 bolts on a spare before finally pulling over to finish the job. As far as I know, the house is still there, just off a main county road in the North Woods of Wisconsin, waiting for someone to come and find that old piano playing by itself. Story 2. Saved. A friend had just had a child, and she appeared to have an uncomplicated birth. However, a few hours later, she was holding her baby, and she started to feel faint. Sure enough, her husband pulled back the covers, and she was bleeding out. They had to do an emergency hysterectomy to save her life. She begged her husband to care for their children, because she just knew she was dying. In the OR, 2 figures, not clad in scrubs, appeared in the corner. She could hear them talk to her, although she said their mouths were not moving. They told her it was not time, not yet, that she needed to go back. She felt nothing except a weird floating feeling during her surgery. Of course she was out, but she swears it was not a dream. She woke up in the ICU in severe pain, asking about her surgery. Apparently she coded twice during the procedure. She was told by her doctor that she died on the table, and they were unsure that they could bring her back. And then suddenly, her vitals returned, just like that. She thinks those were her guardian angels, telling her it was not her time to die. She asked the staff about the other 2 that was in the room with them during the surgery. They didn't know what she was talking about. But they said her recovery to normal vital signs so quickly was nothing short of miraculous, given how much blood she had lost. Maybe it was some sort of divine intervention. Story 3. Talkative Ghosts. I had a span of time where multiple things happened to me. Not much sense. I'm in college now, but here goes. I was in 6th grade. My friend was over at my house, and we were taking turns playing on the PlayStation. I was laying on my bed. As it was his turn, the lights were off, and it was close to midnight at this time. As I'm laying there, I noticed from my left peripheral that there was someone there. I could see a face, all white with blacked out eyes. Quite similar to a Michael Myers mask, but with no hair. This face started to slowly turn and look at me, getting closer and closer. I jumped up quickly and turned on the lights. Then, there was nothing. I was freaked out for the rest of the night. A few years later, I was in high school. I was playing Xbox, and my mom was sitting on the computer. She was playing some dice game. So I can be certain that this was not from her game, and I know it wasn't from my game. Both of us heard this very loud man say, "I'm home." The home part was so dragged out. We both just looked at each other, wondering what the hell just happened. Later that night, my mom was in her room, petting one of our cats. As she's petting him, she's saying, "Hi, kitty." After she said this, she said that someone mimicked back to her, "Hi," almost as if she was being mocked. A few months later, Halloween approached, and we saw something else. We had our house all decorated. It looked pretty scary. Scary enough that I decided to use my uncle's camera to take a picture of our house. Upon further inspection of the picture, I noticed something quite scary. I zoomed in on our door. We have a glass door that opens first into the main door. I saw within the glass a face. It had human characteristics. However, the eyes were blacked out. Very similar to the thing I saw when I was younger. I don't know what was going on in that house. I really loved all of the stories in this episode, but the first one, the Northwoods, really got to me. I visit Wisconsin semi-regularly, at least a few times a year, and the area I usually go to is a very Norwegian area, so I wonder how close to this farm I have been. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the stories. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment. If you have a story you would like me to read, send me an email at hauntedfamilypodcast@gmail.com. Music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio.